Hey guys, it's Liz here. Today I'm going to show you some math games that we use in our first and second grade homeschool. We really love using games. It's something I've kind of discovered that is really fun for me and the kids enjoy too. And so most of these games are going to be addition and subtraction practice. Some of them are going to be matching type games or games where you make combinations of 20 and there's a bunch I still have on my wish list I will mention too. But I will go ahead and leave all of the games that I talk about in the description for you with links if you want to try any. And if you enjoy this video, can you give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe if you want to see some more homeschool videos. So as you can see, I have a pretty thick stack back here, and naturally we've got our favorites we play a lot and ones that we don't play very much. I'll start with the ones that we probably play the most and explain briefly what they do and what math they use. So this one here I found online, Quicks, and I love this game. It's probably one of my favorite to play with my second grader. I wouldn't probably play this any earlier. He's 8, just because of the strategy that it takes. It even took me a couple of games to not get frustrated, but now I love it. So this is a dice game, and you have these little cards on here on the pad. And so you'll roll the dice with your kids. There's some white dice and colored dice, and it's a mix of adding the combinations together of white dice plus colored dice, and also strategy of knowing which ones to cross off. And the goal is to get the most X off at the end. At the very end, the kids are adding up how many X's that they've crossed off for each color row, and they put their points down here in the totals, and then we add them together and we subtract the points from our penalty. Just going by the ones that we play the most, you've probably heard of Yahtzee. This is probably good starting about first, maybe second grade, and depending on, you can help your child add if they need to add. This has a lot of strategy involved, and if you've never played before, you'll get this sheet here, and this is 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and so you'll have to follow the directions to learn the different combinations of dice rolls. So there's strategy involved and also math. Sleeping Queens, this one is really fun, and there is a little bit of math involved, but more it's just a fun game. So you basically get this stack of cards in here, and you lay them out in a certain way, and the kids each get a certain number of cards, and then you flip them over, and you're trying to wake up these sleeping queens using kings that you get in the draw pile. And so there's a little bit of strategy involved in how you can kind of plow through cards, and one of the ways that you can do that is by making simple addition equations, or you could alter it to be subtraction equations. So if you get a few number cards like a 1 and a 2 and a 3, then you could quick get rid of 1, 2, and 3 out of your pile because 1 plus 2 equals 3. So the numbers go up to 10, so you can kind of get some really basic math. That would be perfect for like a first grade level or higher. My second grader loves it too. Another one that we play, let's see, going in order of ones we love. Sums in Space is so fun. I tell people how much we like this game. It is kind of similar if you've ever heard of Sum Swamp. You have a game board, and you roll the dice, and it has a plus or minus dice, so you never know if it's addition or subtraction. And then you're going to roll and add or roll and subtract. And then it's just fun. There's black holes and there's shortcuts and things like that. And then there's also even and odd practice. So that's probably one of the main differences between Sum Swamp is I think there's even and odd practice here, and then I think the dice is a little higher. So you get bigger numbers. Another one we really like is called Clumsy Thief, and there are a lot of versions of Clumsy Thief, and there's another brand that also makes some other ones called like Check the Fridge, Check the Oven. We have Clumsy Thief Candy Shop, and then there's another version, Clumsy Thief Junior. And so each one of them is very similar and really fun and simple to do, but what you're doing here is you're learning how to make combinations of, in this case, I think it's 20. Yeah, so you have different cards that you're trying to match up to make 20, and then you can kind of steal each other's piles if you have a robber and things like that. I probably would have gone with the Clumsy Thief Junior first if I would have known, just that would have been better for beginner first grade because that's adding combos of 10. The 21 was perfect for end of first grade or second grade. The next one we really like is called Math Noodlers. This is not very common, but I found it at Goodwill and it's kind of a gem. I like it. So this one has a game board and I play this with, I would not do any lower than probably second grade because you're gonna be doing just a little bit harder math. They roll the dice, they go skip or count that many places on their game board, and then they get to do a choose it, doodle it, write it, or show it card. And there's really silly ones from like, I'm trying to think of some examples. Things that they have to do, a lot of like acting out or, you know, frog jumping across the room while they skip count, or they have to solve word problems. And it's easy to skip if there's cards that are too hard because there's so many cards. Another fun one, this is not addition and subtraction, but I really like this game a lot. Architecto, I think it's called, and a friend of mine gave it to me, but I'll show you inside. Basically, this is super fun. It gives you a set amount of blocks, and kids have this booklet ranging from easy, medium, and hard challenges. So it tells you what blocks you'll need, if you can see that, but it doesn't tell you how to put it together. They can create these things using the blocks and the numbers of the blocks that it tells you for that challenge. So this is one of those fun things if you especially ever just want to leave out on a table and see who comes to find it. You don't necessarily have to say, we're going to play this game today, or come sit down and do this. You can really just leave. This one in particular, I found I can just leave on a table and someone always comes and finds it and builds something. Another one that we've really enjoyed is IC10. This would be first grade, or if you have a rising kindergartner that's, you know, learning combinations of 10. But there's all these little pieces, which is kind of a bummer because you have to pick them up, and I don't really like doing that very much, but you flipped all of these little pieces over, there's numbers on them, and you have to flip 2 over at a time and try to make a match. If you get a match of 10, then they get to keep it. This one here I have actually yet to use. I thought I would mention it just because I've got it. It did look really fun, but with all of these games, I recommend taking a few minutes to learn how to do it by yourself before having your kids join you, because otherwise, especially with older, harder games, it can be a little frustrating and slow. So I haven't done that with that game yet. This one, we actually haven't used it a ton. I'm missing some dice, but the reviews were awesome, and it seemed like a really simple game where you can add up different combinations of the dice. And the last one that I wanted to show you that we've been having a lot of fun with, I found this on Mercari. It's called Even Stevens Odd, and it's really fun. It's a speed dice game. It comes with 4 different little game boards, so you can play with 4 people, and I'd say this is perfect for like 7 and older probably. And it comes with a stack of cards, and so these cards have all sorts of different challenges. So you flip a card, and the ones with the little star means it's an easier card if you need it for like younger kids or kids that are not as advanced. And then they get these challenges, you can see like straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're rolling all of your dice until you get a straight. And then the first person to get it, they grab this little fun dice character called Steven, and they get to keep that card. So it's pretty short, like 15-minute game, because you don't plow through the whole deck, you just plow through like 10. It gets harder. The thing I like about this is you can see like all dice add up to 18. So this is where they would have to do some math. There's some other ones that are like all dice add up to 20. You can see that. Or this one, colored add up to 12 and the white add up to 5. And so these are more like pattern type ones where you have 4 4s and 2 2s. This one says all 5s. So you can see they range in what's just easy and kind of fun, go fast, and actually hard where you have to do some math. And the last thing I wanted to say, just as far as being a really cheap and practical way to play math games in 1st and 2nd grade level, is just a deck of cards. There's so many different games that you can look up, practicing addition and subtraction with cards. The one booklet that I would highly recommend is Addition Facts That Stick by Kate Snow. And she has this amazing book if you want like a summer math program that you can work on with your kids that is really just fun and feels like you're playing games every day. All you need for that is a deck of cards and then her book, which I got on Amazon, and I'll link that in the description for you. Every day you're going to practice a math game 1 to 2 times, and then you also get to do a math worksheet. That's one of the quickest ways that we were able to really grasp addition facts, and she has all of the facts +1 all the way up to +9. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some ideas for some math games to get started. Most of these you can find on Amazon, and all of them should be in my description. I'd love to know if you have any questions on any of them or want to see anything else.